This class will look at marketing communications and look at some of the preliminary remarks that we should bear in mind when we get deeper into the subject. There are many more videos clearly to come on this area of marketing. So let's start. First of all, the importance of communications. Well, it clearly plays an important role in marketing. They must be able to effectively communicate their products and their values to customers. So the marketeers must be able to contact or have knowledge of their customers and try to ensure that their products are addressing a need or a want on the part of the customers. If that does not happen, then the business will fail. They must be able to identify their customers and they must be able to address their customers' requirements. Without that, there will not be a business. Communication also helps marketeers build relationships with their customers. So even though the customer has purchased the item or has made contact with the company, it's important that that contact, that relationship, is fostered and grows over time. In other words, the marketing personnel have a requirement to keep contact with the customers. And that not only just benefits current sales, but it also enables the research and development part of the business to get valuable feedback on the product, on its uses, what its limitations are, what its advantages are, and what the customers would like to see happen with the product. So it's important that they keep communications with the customers. An organization must communicate with a wide range of customers, not just the final customers, but also anyone in between in the supply chain. So it's important that information is being collected right throughout the supply chain, but also collected from internally within the business and from raw material, perhaps suppliers, if that's the nature of the business, picking up from suppliers coming into the business. Information must be collected from all quarters, in other words. And from this, better decision making should flow. In the absence of information, the business can make mistakes. It can travel the wrong road. It can make faulty decisions without knowing what is required by the market. So there is an importance in communications. Marketers must use a range of techniques to communicate. For example, they could use advertising agencies to design and develop advertisements. They might want to do it themselves, but generally speaking, it's better to get professionals. They have the more up-to-date techniques and they're more aware of what the market is, what the market requires, what it's currently looking for. Specialists in sales promotion to devise sales incentive programs. When companies think of having a sales promotion, tragically sometimes look to their staff internally and think that they're going to magic up some great promotion. It might be better to look for specialists, people who know how to do it and have a track record in being successful in mounting sales promotions. So when making the decision, it's not just a question of looking at the cost, but it's looking at the effectiveness and the likely outcome from having a promotional event. Direct marketing to create customer database and interact with new existing customers. Having a database is very important, and maintaining the database is important. This does not have to be an electronic database, a database on the computer or online, or it doesn't have to be. It could be quite a straightforward database. Probably the simplest ones would be a bar chart or some sort of chart on a wall where they can update it. But it's important that some sort of database is maintained. When the customers buy the product, what were the customers' feedback? Where are the outlets for the product? What's the outlet feedbacks? What are delivery costs and how historically have they changed? And it's information, in other words. Everything about this is information. Collecting the information, maintaining the information, and being able to use it effectively to make good decisions. Personal selling. Well, salespeople to promote products and the corporate image. Sometimes, it depends on the nature of the business, it's maybe better to send personnel out to the customers. Often it's the case that the producers, the sellers, want more information. And if their personnel who make visits to the company, perhaps to sell their product, get to know the managers and get to know the personnel within the business and come over, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and a chat with them, they're able to find out what the business is doing, where it's going, what it's likely to do in the next year, what equipment it'll require, and so on. It's feeding back information to the organisation. Cynics amongst you will probably think that's a bit like spying. Well, it's not seen like that. It's part and parcel of the commercial world and the way the commercial world operates. It's meant to be helpful, and it is helpful because it enables the supply chain suppliers, the people involved in the supply chain, to anticipate what's going to be required and to have perhaps made provision to provide those items. So it's actually quite helpful, not in any way bad. The importance of communications. Well, all communication efforts must work in accordance with the aims of the business. Excuse me. They must be able to blend into the business, the communications, and coordinate the communications program. So it's important that communications is seen as a valuable tool in the toolbox for selling. Without communications, good communications with the buyer and with the parent organization, clarity in communications, that's very important. Otherwise mistakes can be made or misunderstandings can arise, and that can be injurious to the business. There's a wide range of tools to engage customers, and these are called the marketing mix or the marketing communications mix. So there's a wide range of tools, and we'll have a look at these, but do not go into it thinking there is one dominant. It depends on the nature of the business. It depends on the nature of the product itself, the technicality of the product. There's a lot of issues to be considered when looking at the communications mix. As for the mix, well, it varies, I suppose, from textbook to textbook, but that's one that I've drawn up from various readings. And as you can see, the promotion element is within this marketing mix. The selling organization may engage in advertising. It depends on the nature of the product. They may have sales promotions, contact potential buyers and tell them they're going to have a sale or a discount, or they're going to sell off older stock or whatever it is on a particular day. There may be public relations where they make an event and make themselves known in the wider community. Or it could be direct marketing. They contact the organizations directly by letter, by email, by whatever source. They may pay a visit to the organization, arrange a meeting and go and invite the people for lunch and talk about what they're doing and what they're hoping to achieve. And of course, there can be personal selling as well, where it's perhaps much smaller scale, but they're able to make sales based on one-to-one contact. And it might be an agent of one business talking to an agent of another business, and the two of them together are able to formulate a contract and have a sale. It's much more personal, much more friendly. We're able to do it face to face and do it quickly, perhaps. So these are different marketing communications channels and routes that may be followed. And it's worth bearing in particular on this class, this particular slide is probably one of the more important ones. So that's all we're going to deal with in this session. So let's leave it there and say thank you for watching.